Hi, this is Emily Bowen-Moore. This is for Journalism 273 in the Meek School of Journalism and New Media at the University of Mississippi. This video tutorial is for using the ImageTrace capability in Illustrator. And first, you want to make sure that you're not infringing on any copyright. It works best if you're using your own image. But if you are pulling an image off the internet, make sure that in using the ImageTrace tool that you change it up enough to change the composition and the way that it is laid out and presented in the original form, as to not illegally infringe on copyright or ethically infringe on someone's intellectual property. So you have an ImageTrace window. You can, if it's not visible, you can open your window menu and go to ImageTrace. In this case, we do have it open over here. And I'll pull it in just a little bit so you can see it. And what we want to do first is place the image that we're wanting to ImageTrace. And so I have gotten a picture of a flower. So I'm going to go to File, Place, and go to pick the image up. And you can click and it will place the image. I'm going to drag an actual square area. And so once I drag out the place that I wanted, it places it there. And while I have it selected, you'll notice that your ImageTrace options will automatically be accessible. You also have some of these options in your panel at the top. So you can use either or. This gives you more options here to decide what you want to do with it. Now, I always encourage my students to explore in black and white first before color. So I'm going to do this ImageTrace in black and white. You do have different options: grayscale, low color fidelity, high color, or auto. So all of these options are there for you. The color options are going to make it look posterized, or what would look like posterization in Photoshop if you've ever done that. It's very similar. You can adjust the threshold of how much it's capturing. So it's going to have it in the middle when you start out, but after you trace it, which let's go ahead and click Trace to ImageTrace this, you can see it's capturing a lot. We don't really want that much captured, so I can adjust the threshold here. And you can see how it changes in terms of what it's capturing. So once you get a desirable result there, then you have your actual ImageTrace. And what it's doing also is vectorizing. It's going to change all of the shapes that it's picking up into individual shapes. And you can access those to modify them even more. So say I wanted to extend some of these petals outward or modify this. I can select the object again, and I can go to Object, Expand. And you also have that in your tracing panel up here. So you have the button to click right here. So I'm going to do that. So once I expand it, you can see blue show up around this object. And if I zoom in real close, you can see they're all basically anchor points for you to modify this shape. Okay, so if I go to my direct selection tool, you can see where those anchor points are. And again, to use your direct select tool, you have to click off the object first and then scroll back on. So once I've scrolled back on, you can see your anchor points. So I can move these around. I can adapt these to be bigger petal shapes. I can extend, say I want this one to kind of separate in here. I can pull some of these anchor points to separate some of these petals if I would like, to make them more individual. So just as long as you really change up the image dramatically in the composition, you're okay in terms of copyright. So let's say you are doing everything that you want to do with this and you're happy with it. You can continue and explore with color. Now this picture had a background, all this would stay white. So say we wanted to remove that, we can click off the object and back on. And I can click on the bounding box and it will disappear, and the background will also disappear. Now I can select everything here. And you can add color. Say if I wanted it to be a different color other than black, I can play around with the colors of these. If you are not wanting it to be all colored in, you can select specific parts while you're still in your direct select tool. Now all of these are connected, so it's considering it one shape. So you would have to separate these into individual shapes depending on what you want to do there. But these little areas in the middle are individual. I could literally go in and decide on other colors. So if I wanted that red, I could change it. You could use your swatches and change each individual shape to whatever color you're wanting to do there. So ImageTrace is a valuable tool, especially if you're not much of an artist in terms of drawing skills. This allows you to create shapes using a reference as long as you change it up. Now, you can use your Adobe Capture, which is a mobile app, and when you capture a shape, it will automatically vectorize it for you to plug into Illustrator, and you can have these same capabilities when you are working with image capture in your Adobe Capture app. So it does the same thing. It image traces whatever you capture through your lens. So I strongly encourage you to use that as well and explore those capabilities. But this is pretty much what entails image tracing. It's not much more than a click of a button depending on your vision and what you want to modify. And once you are finished with that, you have a vector image and a vector or a graphic. So good luck and thanks for listening, and I hope it goes well.